Hello everyone and welcome to another one of our live feedings. Every third Saturday of the month you can witness these live virtual feedings on our Facebook. Today we'll be feeding the sea stars we have in our Astrid tank. We'll be feeding them pieces of shrimp, Hello and welcome to another one of our live feedings. Hope you've all had a great Saturday. It was beautiful today. We're going to be feeding the sea stars in this tank. This is one of our saltwater tanks at the estuarium. We've got a couple different species of sea star in here. We've got a couple different species of fish. And we've got crabs, we've got some hermit crabs, as well as some different kinds of worms and chitin species. All in all, a very highly populated tank with a bunch of different animals. We'll be feeding our sea stars pieces of shrimp that we have thawed. They eat the same shrimp that you would buy at the grocery store because we want to give them the best quality shrimp. I threw some shrimp in there earlier to entice them. You can see these sea stars are crawling around. They are looking for those shrimps. They can smell them with all those tube feet. Cup full of shrimp. Slippery pieces. Grip on them. Now let's see if we can get this sea star to crawl along the glass. They use their tube feet, all those little individual feet along their arms to smell or taste the water. You can see our crabs are starting to come out. There's a hermit crab behind the sea star coming out. It's a little tiny one. But you would think sea stars could be pretty slow, but they're actually can be pretty fast when they're hungry. Almost taste it. So now you can see the underside of the sea star. You can see In the middle of all of those arms, they end in a central disc, and that's where you would find its stomach. Grabbing onto the claw there. So it's going to bring that shrimp all the way down to the center where its mouth is. Other sea star has traveled very far up into the other corner. That would be the mottled sea star, whereas the one on the glass right now is the ochre sea star, also known as the purple sea star. It's got a piece of shrimp in its arm. Keep traveling right past that shrimp. Want to make sure our fish and our crabs don't steal it from them. See, the fish are starting to come out, the crabs are starting to come out, they're smelling that food. We can try and get the mottled sea star to come around the corner. Looks like the mottled sea star might just stay on the glass over here. Give the leather sea star some food as well. It's hiding behind that purple one. Like the purple one also grabbed the clamshell. We would also feed the sea stars clams every once in a while, as well as shrimp. This purple sea star gonna care for that piece of shrimp after it crawled all that way? There we go. Once it focuses, there we go. Slowly bringing that shrimp around, passing it along all the tube feet. Some fun facts about sea stars as we're waiting for that piece of shrimp to travel up its arm is that sea stars do have eyes. They have eye spots, which means on the tip of each arm they have an organ that can see shadows. So if you closed your eyes and you looked to the sun, it would be brighter. If you looked down to the ground, it would be darker. And that's what the sea star's vision looks like. If something comes along above it and blocks out the sun, it knows that there might be a predator lurking about. They can also regenerate arms. So as some of you may have heard, when a sea star loses its arm, it can lose it because something tried to eat it, or if it got stuck somewhere, it could detach an arm. And as long as that center disc is intact, the sea star can grow a new arm. Some sea stars don't even need the center disc to regrow a new arm, so a whole sea star can form by just one sea star arm crawling away. So it's brought that shrimp down into its stomach, where it will envelop the shrimp to digest it. It's got some competition. There's a crab coming along, but it knows better than to get near those tube feet because it could become a snack as well. There's a fish as well coming up there behind it, looking pretty fat. We think that that fish is pregnant right now. So you can still just barely see the shrimp. Barely see the shrimp being succumbed by all those tube feet. So if you ever see a sea star that's bunched up like this, it's probably feeding on some mussels or some clams or anything that it got its arms on. The leather star back there has crawled over its piece of shrimp as well. The leather star has a really soft body, so they're found deeper down. Ochre sea stars, this purple one, has a really tough body, so they can withstand wave action, so they can be found more near shore. And then same with this mottled sea star. Bringing that piece of shrimp up to its mouth. Focus. There we go. Some sea stars will even prey on other sea stars. They will pretty much eat anything. I'm not sure why sea stars have certain color patterns to them. This one being a bit whiter with that bluish pattern. There seems no reason for them to hide in their environment to match it because they don't have a lot of predators. So they don't need to be matched with the environment. Lighter colors could be that it absorbs more light waves. Maybe it helps keep them cooler. Maybe when they get exposed to the sun, they don't heat up as quickly if they're a darker color, because you don't want to evaporate a lot of water. So maybe that is why they are lighter colored, so that they don't lose a lot of water when the sun hits them, when they're left out to dry until the tide comes back in. Slowly bringing that shrimp up to the center of its underside. Fun fact about sea stars is that they don't have any blood in them. So we have blood that pumps through our body that helps us move our muscles. Sea stars don't have that. So how can they move? It's due to the water pressure. They take water inside their system and use the water to move. By increasing the water pressure inside their body, they can stick to the glass, and by releasing the water pressure, they can peel off the glass and move around. Bringing that shrimp up. So imagine all those little tube feet just moving via water pressure. So they don't have a brain, they don't have a heart to pump the blood. They've just got their digestive system, their reproductive system, and their neurological system. Or their nervous system, there's the word. Looks like that shrimp is nearly gone. Brought to the mouth, or the stomach more like, because they do have two stomachs. One stomach can be pushed out of their body into a clam to digest the clam. Otherwise, the other stomach stays inside to help with further digestion. I hope you've learned some fun facts about sea stars. Thank you for watching. If you want to, you can adopt our tanks, which means that for a small fee, you adopt them for a month. That fee goes towards providing food for our animals and maintenance on their tanks. You also will get your name up on the tank as a tank sponsor. Sadly, no one sponsored our tanks this month. Say hello to Rocky. Rocky, our copper rockfish. She'll get fed in a second. Say hi to everyone, Rocky. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.